we're obviously hoping to talk to you about the website
Yes.
and Foreign Language Collective. And I have a slew of untranslatables for you. I have quite a few Dutch ones because I'd like your help with saying them correctly because I'm sure I will butcher them.
Okay,
I'm sure
cool.
I will. We're going to make poor Jared here be the guinea pig and try to guess these Dutch ones.
I'm a
you'll obviously
professional.
know. And he is a professional. Yeah, I should really give him
not
more
concerned.
credit.
I mean, at this point, you are professionals, right?
It feels like it. And I hate to say it, when we have guests on, especially when we have guests on, like Chad and I are so quick, and people are like, I'm like, hey, I guess we have been doing this for
The problem
years.
is we have a buddy of ours on once in a while who I hate to sound like a jerk, but
he's an idiot?
He's no, I was going to say he's monolingual. He's monolingual is what I was going to say. So I think he has a little bit of a difficulty with when we do untranslatables.
Okay, a little overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah. It's not if you don't
to
have
say
experience
that-
in languages,
The last time I was on, I was like surprised by how difficult it was because I was like, oh yeah, I speak multiple languages. I can
You
do
do.
this. And then you said something and I was like, this could be anything.
The trick is just throw stuff out. That's usually
Yeah.
what my plan is. It's just the first thing that you kind of think of if it were in your own language. It's like, all right, if I were saying this, what would I be meaning? Is usually how I do it.
Go with your gut. You just have to that first thought, and sometimes that first thought will be exactly right or exactly wrong. Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here recording episode 224, and today we have a very, very special guest, a guest we have had on before. We're so excited to have her and talk about all of her exciting new projects, websites. But before we get to that, we will be talking a lot about different languages today. I have quite a few Dutch untranslatables for our guest. So I'm really excited to get her assistance in pronouncing these correctly because Jared and I think, are notorious for butchering untranslatables at this point. We can figure them out, but we can't always say them correctly. And she will also, I'm sure, teach us a lot of other cool untranslatables in some different languages as well. So if you are a language learner, this is going to be a great episode for you today. Or if you're stuck at home and you're thinking, I have some free time, I'm bored at home, maybe I should finally learn a language, this is going to be a good one. So stay tuned. So without further ado, my partner in crime, my buddy who likes to make me a German walking dictionary sometimes. What's going on, Jared? How are you, buddy?
Hello. I mean, I say it all the time. If you want to learn a language, the Untranslatable Podcast is obviously where you want to start.
One place, but there's some other good
No.
untranslatable places as well.
This is where you start. And honestly, this is probably where you're going to finish too. So welcome on your language learning journey. We talk about, anyway, please, to help with that language learning journey, follow us. By the way, this is not a language learning journey. Let me just be clear. Follow us on...
It's jokes. It's jokes, people.
Follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast.
Spread a little love.
You can also follow us on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. And 5-star reviews are always great. We love those too. So, you could do that. Or... untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You could also email us untranslatables. It's been a while since we've gotten submissions. I guess we need some advice on how to get submissions, or we could just take them from the professional herself.
That is true. I mean, we do have an amazing source to find bajillions. That's not even a number, but hey, I think it's pretty accurate. The amount of untranslatables we are going to see on this amazing new website that has been the project of our esteemed guest today, Amarens from the Foreign Language Collective and also untranslatable.co. We're so happy to have you on again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah. I feel, well, ever since we've met you, I feel like I can't use your own platform as a source for untranslatables. It kind of feels like cheating. And the thing is, finding untranslatables is, at this point, since we've been doing it for so long, it's kind of hard now. Like, now I have to dig. I'm on, like, the 6th page of Google, And I'm like, oh, man, this is, and I still feel some sort of like it's cheating or something.
But that's the beauty of the website. And can you tell us kind of how this idea started? You know, we talked about it when you were on episode 145. And to all of our listeners out there, check out episode 145. It was a lot of fun. We managed three different time zones for that episode. And Amarens was a great guest. So
Episode 145?
Yeah.
What episode are we on right now?
224.
Look at that. Wow.
224. Yes. Time has
I'm
been
really
going.
sorry, guys. I will answer your question after I plug in my laptop.
No
which is
problem.
about to
No
die.
problem. Yeah.
Been there.
Yes, we know the struggle. We know the struggle.
Do you ever...
I'm peeping her books in the background. I'm definitely a fan of the big book collection I see.
and
Yeah.
is that it's ordered by color too?
I was gonna say, did you notice? Yeah, that's yeah.
So ordering it by color
can-
certainly looks nice, but when it comes to finding a book, do you then have to? Do you remember the colors of the cover?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm a
Okay.
very visual person, so I do the same with my apps because I don't remember the name, but I was like, oh, it was like this green app that helps me with like my grocery shopping, and then I just go to the green page and then I
That's
find
interesting.
That's really cool. I like that.
I've seen a phone. I saw somewhere on some social media or something. There was someone that did that, and it looked so confusing to me. I'm like, that looks super cool, but also I don't understand how that's organized in my head. But my
but I think you could get used to it. That's really that's an interesting
tactic.
Yeah.
I never knew about it.
So
Yeah.
the way I do it is I have like a page for the ones that have like a I don't know if you can see it, but with a white border around it.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And then, but that's also like, then someone's texting me, but
So you also don't do like clusters. What do you call it when you cluster
the
apps?
clusters. Yeah.
I have
that's
that
cool,
for
though.
the ugly ones because I don't want them on my screen.
You are a very visual person for sure.
Yeah.
I think that shows though in a lot of your content, which
Yes.
is why it's so appealing.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
Thank you,
I really love the Instagram pages, all the posts. Where can everybody find all of your stuff to all of our listeners out there?
Oh, yeah. So for Untranslatable, you can find it on Instagram at untranslatable.co. On Facebook, the page is just called Untranslatable, but I think if you go like facebook.com/untranslatable.co, that's how you find the page. I did make a Twitter account, but I don't know if I'm going to use it, but it is there. And it's Untranslatable without an E at the end. So it's like...
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Untranslatable, yeah. I mean, so many people gunning for the name, so obviously you had to like... That's why you had to put the one.
I was going to ask you about that because you are good at Instagram. You're very good at Instagram, but that seems to be your main medium. Medium. What do you like? How do you feel about Twitter? Because I'm a real Twitter person, and Instagram is second to Twitter for me.
Instagram is like a lot of opinions. Twitter. To me,
Yes.
you know? So when I'm on it, it's like sometimes I just get tired because it's just so much stuff and so many opinions on things that I was like, oh my God, do I need an opinion on this? Do I need to take a stance?
Yeah.
So
Especially all the threads. I think how Twitter's visually laid out for me also, it gets a little overwhelming.
yeah.
Like I'm kind of new to Twitter. I don't know why, but just the last like maybe month, I've been on Twitter. I've been peeping what Jared's been doing on our podcast because I like to see kind of the stuff Jared posts, and I retweet episodes occasionally and stuff like that. But I'm not on Twitter that much because Instagram. It's a different kind of experience, I guess. You know, you see the pictures, and it's.
But even me on none of the social media sites, I don't really post on anything. Like on our Twitter, I'll post occasionally. But like on my own personal stuff, I never post. But I love just I mean, I both love and hate the opinions on Twitter. I think part of why I love it is that I don't want to say it makes me angry because it doesn't make me angry, but it does make me like sort of hate society sometimes.
Yeah. No, I go on there to do exactly that. But then, it's just a lot. And then to me, I'm not like a big fan of social media in general, which is kind of ironic or something, but I also don't post on my personal stuff. But it is a great way, like if you have a page like Untranslatable, it's a great way to interact with people, and people love seeing that type of content. It's kind of positive and brings like a cool.
Yes.
Well, and I really do think you are adding a lot of great value online with a lot of the stuff you've been doing. I mean,
I hope so.
I can tell you, as not to be a fanboy here, but I enjoy looking at a lot of the different memes and stuff. And there's so much good language stuff on Instagram now, which is I learn, and actually half of the untranslatables I have for us today I pulled from Instagram. So I've been trying to get away from the computer screen because Jared and I have been working a little bit more closely together, and it's just easy to accidentally see it on the computer, and then it ruins all the fun. This is episode 224. We've done enough untranslatables, I think, where we enjoy really trying to guess them. Not cheating.
Oh yeah, for sure. It kind of ruins it for sure.
Does.
It's
really
no fun.
So do you ever, because you're both out there on the internet looking for untranslatables, do you ever hear the other person say something that you've already found yourself, kind of, and you're like, I know this and I shouldn't say the answer because I already know?
Well, if you just know it, you probably just say it. But we definitely have done ones that we've done before. But we've done so many episodes, sometimes we might forget, and one of us will be like, I've definitely heard this before. But then what we'll always say is like, all right, then tell me what it is. And then we'll be like,
Yeah, we usually don't remember because it's a quick one-off kind of thing.
Right.
Unless it's a good enough untranslatable to either become a drop, which eventually we need to get a board in here so we can really do drops.
Flipping on Gator.
Like that one. That one we did one we talked about American slang.
I mean, we could use that
ones.
fancy thing you have right there.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Anyways, we'll talk about it after we're done recording. But yeah, but the great thing is that especially if you're talking about untranslatables, when we find some, the ones I tend to remember are ones I see and hear. So if Jared and I are talking, and if he just tells me what it is, I might remember it, but if it's one of my old ones that I read, especially some of these Instagram ones, they even pronounce it. Like that's a really cool feature I've seen, where they've had a video where you can, you click the little sound icon and you'll hear them say it. And I found one that was that's Chinese idioms, and I have one for us today. And it's so great to hear the tones because I'm terrible with the tones in Mandarin. I am by no means even a novice level Mandarin speaker. I'm whatever below a novice is. I mean, I guess you can't really call it. Well, could you? Maybe a true beginner is what you would call it still. But does it count if you've lived there for half a year?
If you still don't know it, then
yeah. Okay. There we go. But yeah, so I guess I'm trying to give myself a little more credit. Anyway, so how did this idea though for the untranslatable website come up?
I really just wanted it to be there, like as a language learner or as someone who's just generally interested in languages, you always come across these like it can be words, but it can also be like idioms or just like standard phrases in general that people use and or references. And I don't know, like on my Facebook feed, there's a lot of Spanish, for example, and I'm fluent in Spanish. And sometimes I'll see something and I'm like, I know what these words mean. And I'm also pretty sure it's a reference to something. And when I Google it, I do find the source material. So it does say like, oh, it's from this show. But I don't know what it means. Like, I don't know what the person is trying to say with it. And I just wanted there to be a place for, because if you're a native speaker, those things are so obvious and everyone has seen that show and they know what it references to and blah, blah, blah. But if you're not a native speaker, there's like almost no place for you to ask something like that and be like, hey, but can you explain this to me? Or you have to go onto some forum and then hope someone has asked the question before, but it becomes kind of tricky. And even most like Urban Dictionary type of sites, they are usually in the source language. So if you're not that fluent, then it might still be like hard to find even or hard to understand. And
do they have Urban Dictionaries in different languages?
They do. There's one which I really love called Así Hablamos for Spanish. And it's for like all the Latin American countries, basically. So if
we need to look that up.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. For sure.
It's wild. Like you can type in any word any word, and it has like 5 different definitions or like 17 different definitions for every single country. And then also
great.
like
That is amazing, especially for Spanish with so many countries and so many different dialects and varieties. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that one's quite cool. And I do think they like moderate it in a way that there's, like you can add something, but they do only have like one submission for one meaning, so to say. But there wasn't really like an urban dictionary type of place where everyone just gets to share and interpret it in their own way, and where you can like look that up and then see what a native speaker has to say about it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you happen to know, is there one for Portuguese?
There is one.
Portuguese here.
Yes, there is one. Don't know the name of it, but I've seen it.
I can Google it. I'll try to find it. But yeah, that's just good to know. But see, yours, the great thing about your website is it brings all that under one roof. Under one umbrella, which is so great. I was scrolling through, this week, before we were prepping for this episode, and I was just impressed by just all the variety of languages, and it's really cool too I've been trying to learn how to read Cyrillic, Russian, and I've seen some Russian ones, and I can read the Cyrillic, but it also has the what is that, Roman alphabet?
I think so.
Right? Is it our alphabet, right? It's Roman.
Yeah,
right? yeah. Okay, yeah. So tell us though, Amarens, remind me again how. So you speak Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch because you're from the Netherlands.
Yes.
English, obviously.
English, yes. And I speak Frisian because my mother's from there, and I was.
What was that?
Frisian, which is what? Can you tell us more about
I've never heard of Frisian before.
Frisian. So Frisian is a Germanic language. So it's kind of in the same corner as English and Dutch. It's actually the closest related the language to English.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Frisian.
Yeah,
Frisian. I like
and
that.
it's kind of a minority language spoken in the northeast. So it's kind of like Catalan, but in the Netherlands, if that makes sense.
Okay. Oh, cool. That's really. I didn't know that. When we had you on last time, we were unaware of that. So that's really cool.
Okay,
Have
you heard of Frisian?
I've heard the name Frisian before, but I don't know very much about it.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Because I saw it on a dialect map back when I was in grad school.
Okay.
We were looking at different dialects because there's some certain German dialects that sound more or less kind of like Dutch. You have some of the Plattdeutsch.
Yeah.
And it sounds
True.
like Dutch. I can't. Some of it I can understand. A lot of it I can't. It's really crazy how that works.
It is kind of. They do speak it in the region here, and I went to a supposedly bilingual primary school, so German Dutch. And so we had some German students, and whenever I would go over to their house, to have a play date, the communication was limited. So like these must have been super interesting interactions to watch. Like, just have these kids from 2 different countries and just have them communicate.
They somehow make it work.
Yeah, they really do.
That's the crazy thing.
I feel like it doesn't really take much for kids to get along.
Right.
I remember there was like a new girl, and me and my other friend, we just single-handedly taught, because we couldn't say anything to her, but we just pulled her with us, and then we just started pointing at stuff and then saying the name, and she would repeat it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And she became like fluent in Dutch because of us, because we were always just like talking with her and to her. So it's like pretty cool.
That's how you learn a language. Input.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's the number one, not to get language. Well, let's get language nerdy, actually.
Yeah, why not?
2, let's get language nerdy. Yeah, I mean, input is a big one. I was actually having a conversation with my mom a couple days ago, talking about, kids, how they grow up and speak developmentally, and how fast they can learn how to talk and all that stuff. And she was saying, with most kids, the kids who are really talkative at a young age is because their parents talk to them, or a lot of people just talk to them all the time. So it's kind of the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Kids reading children's stories, all sorts of stuff like this. Yeah. It makes sense.
I guess so.
I guess
makes
sense.
I'm just starting to get a little introspective. I'm like, what does that mean? That's interesting. Okay.
So Frisian, Dutch, Spanish, Portuguese, English, probably some German as well, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, so I was forced to learn German and French in school, but I would be an overstatement to say that I was good at it, you know?
Okay,
But
that's fair.
Did I attend classes? Yes. Did I graduate in French with like a good grade? Yeah. Do I know how to speak it? No, absolutely
Right.
not.
Yeah.
Well, school doesn't really teach us how to speak a language per se.
That's
you
it,
know what
yeah.
I mean? It
I
really
took
doesn't.
I took French for 8-9 years all through school, and I'm terrible at it. Like,
Yeah, like it's-
Chad sometimes now he's like, well, how do you read this? And I'm like,
Yep.
I don't even really know.
I always put poor Jared on the spot. Yeah, if I see a French one, I'm always like, oh, you could say this, no problem. He looks
Yeah,
at me like,
no.
Yeah, I barely paid attention like 10 years ago when I took my last French class.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, my father got like a C or a D in German in high school, and he hated it. Didn't like the teacher. Didn't enjoy the class. And then he was actually stationed in Heidelberg during in the '60s, and he loved it so much over there. He stayed, and he's fluent in German.
Yeah.
So he's fluent in
That's
German
it.
now, but he hated German
Yeah.
in high school. So,
Yeah.
but I think that sadly shows us that we need to be a little bit more critical on how we teach languages in schools.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure I would happily learn French if I moved to France or Canada or something.
Right. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some
that makes
Quebecois.
sense. Some what?
Some Quebecois.
Is
they
that how
speak
they
in
say?
Quebec.
Is that how they? Oh, it's called Quebecois.
Yeah, isn't it? I think so.
I think
I'm
so,
feeling
yeah.
like a real idiot today. Let's not talk about languages.
It's too early for Jay. You need some more of your coffee, buddy. And then you'll be
You know, it's
good to
actually
go.
funny that I sound so stupid right now because I have been meaning to ask you, how does the how is the U.S. talked about these days?
Oh yeah,
I'm always
very
curious to
about
hear
that.
from people that don't live in the U.S. Or if they or if you don't even think about us at all, that would make me actually feel nice.
Yeah, because right now it's
No, this is actually kind of funny because so in Brazil, people tend to think that other countries are talking bad about them, you know? So like if you're in Brazil, people are like, "Oh my god, what will the foreigners say?" kind of. And the truth is that not that many foreigners really talk about Brazil at all. Like just don't care. Like it feels bad because I love Brazil and it's you know, but to be honest, me and my neighbors, we don't discuss Brazil. But yeah, the U.S. does come up sometimes.
Oh, I'm
And,
sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what can you say? I don't think there's anything I could say that make you feel better. But,
You're not going to hurt our feelings.
Yeah,
by the
you
way.
definitely won't hurt our feelings because
We've probably said worse on our own podcast.
yeah, we've at least thought it.
Yeah.
Because I have to say, you know, when I was still in China, it was so nice to be removed from the situation a little bit because I didn't,
can
you know,
imagine.
like, yeah, I occasionally got on social media, but I needed a VPN and my internet was kind of slow and it was
The
just
whole
a ton of-
ordeal.
yeah, it was. It really was. And now that I'm back, you know, like I walk downstairs and, you know, CNN's on the TV or Fox News and it's all just political. It's all, you know, just so much crazy stuff is happening in the U.S. right now. Oh, it's wild. A crazy time. Crazy time.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. But
wild is
we're-
probably a good way to put it.
See, this is why you shouldn't be on Twitter. Because
That's true.
Then you just have the main line to the insanity. Speaking of Twitter, and the insanity of the U.S., so Herman Cain, he's a politician.
Yep.
Yes, I saw
he
that.
recently died as he was called of COVID-19 as he was calling it a hoax on his social media. They're still going on his social media.
Yep.
I don't know if you do this, but his family took over and they're still
They're
going.
still tweeting. Still.
Once
Yeah.
I die, let me die, please. I don't
Yeah.
even care if I'm like nowhere close to as well known as he is. That seems like a nightmare to me.
Well, see, that's the crazy thing about the internet now is like,
Oh my
we've
God.
never lived in an age, I think, where you have famous people with social media accounts with all these followers, and then if you pass away, what happens to that account?
Yeah.
You know, like I wonder too, like if something were to happen to me in like a freak accident, right?
Yeah.
What happens to all the shit I have on the internet? All
Yeah.
of my social media.
I'm exposing
all
you.
of it. Okay, cool. You're not gonna find too much, but feel free.
Seeing-
You'll find a lot of memes, a lot of really stupid memes,
Yeah.
a lot of guitar
I'm just be
stuff. and that's it.
scrolling through your pictures and I'm going to get bored so fast.
Yep, probably.
I've been seeing a lot of tweets about Herman Cain being like, well, at least it's good to know that they have Wi-Fi in hell.
Oh wow. Yep. Well, I mean, that's the thing about Twitter is you just people get roasted on Twitter. I really like
They
the fast
do.
food accounts on Twitter. Like Wendy's is pretty, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it Wendy's? And
Yeah.
Arby's.
Yeah, Arby's.
Arby's
is a good
too.
one. Yeah, they
Slim
have some
Jim
funny
always
stuff.
comments on Instagram meme sites. Have you noticed that?
Really? I
I always
didn't
see
know
him on
that.
these random meme sites on Instagram. I was like, why is? And I was like, Slim Jim, and I was like, oh, this is the corporate account.
The funny thing is, someone is getting paid
Mm-hmm.
to comment on people's
To-
Instagram posts
To
for Slim Jim.
find like the right GIF, to
Yeah.
Yeah.
comment and be.
But that's
yeah.
hard.
R-
Because
yeah,
It
I
is
couldn't do
hard.
it.
Yeah.
It is.
But
I mean,
wonder
social
how
media
that
is a
job
skill.
interview
Yeah.
goes. Like,
Do you show
if
them
they
memes?
just give you a few example situations and they're like, okay, diffuse the situation by using a Cardi B GIF, like go for it. You have 10 seconds. Like,
Yeah, it's
find
oh
something.
man. Like you need like a acronym for WOP that involves like Whopper, like a like the
no.
Burger King
Oh,
account.
jeez, that would be hilarious.
Our Whopper is warm and
jeez,
prepared. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Listen,
Lord.
this is why I don't have the job.
That's fair. Now you won't be accepted to the interview. That's a bummer right there, Jared. Well, we have you on to do some untranslatables.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's time we get to it. So I think Jared will get our little owl going. Did we tell you the story our last episode we had with you?
Yes.
Just
it
you
was
did.
a clock
Yeah.
that you
Yes.
had in your old apartment.
That was
Actually, it's
there.
right over
Probably
here.
gonna interrupt us
Oh.
at some point.
It will interrupt us in probably.
Well, hey, keep it a surprise.
Okay, I'll keep it a
It's
surprise.
so annoying.
Okay, cool.
That's right. Well, hopefully we'll still be doing untranslatables, and it'll just
Wow.
come in right on
If
time.
we're lucky.
If we're lucky.
It'll
'Cause
interrupt
I have
us.
quite a few. So as I mentioned, I have some Dutch ones, and really my only Dutch experience is occasionally the couple videos I've seen online of Dutch, and we spent some time in Amsterdam. But most of that was English and some German because we met some German people, or at least the second time I was there I did. So my Dutch is terrible. So feel free to laugh, cry, hang up the call if it's really that terrible. But please let me know how to actually say this. And Jared will tell us what they mean. So here we go. Nu komt de app uit de mouw.
Something comes.
How do you?
Nu komt de aap uit de mouw.
Nu komt de. One more time.
Nu komt de aap uit de mouw.
Nu komt de app uit de mouw. Mm-hmm. So
Is it
it's
like
not perfect.
something's coming out of your mouth or something?
No.
Damn it.
Mouw is sleeve, right?
Oh,
Yes.
sleeve.
Yeah.
So the W's in Dutch on the end of a word
Oh, I can't.
aren't pronounced, or it changes the vowel sound or something.
I guess they aren't pronounced. I mean, in our mind, they change the sound, but in reality, I don't. I
Okay.
think if you were to write it without, then it would sound the same, probably.
Okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Okay, but sometimes those letters have that kind of either lengthening or shortening function.
Yeah, it
you know.
kind of lengthens it.
Okay.
If anything, but not. I
Not
I don't
much.
think you would write it if you were to write it in IPA. I don't think you would.
Right. Well, sure. Yeah, because it's not pronounced. It's a silent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Are you familiar with this untranslatable?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
It's a very famous expression, and I don't think I would. Well, I use it because I think it's funny.
Okay.
But it's maybe
Well-
more of like more adults would use it than
Okay.
young people.
See, this is all good. This is all good for.
So
for-
do you?
I don't even know
tell
what
you what
yeah.
it means?
Yes, please.
Now the monkey comes out of the sleeve, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like now the truth comes out.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
Is it equivalent to the English "let the cat out of the bag"?
that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I couldn't think of how to say
Or
it.
kind of close?
I'm not familiar enough with the cat, but yeah, I think so. I
Well,
would
to let the
say
cat out
so.
of the bag is like to
That seems a little different because that's more of like exposing a secret.
or revealing
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah.
No, so the monkey out of the sleeve is more like when, for example, we were having a conversation and I'm trying to say like, oh, let's go somewhere, and pretending that it's like really casual. But then later in the conversation, it turns out that I want to go there because I want to see a certain person, and then you're like, oh, now the monkey is out of the sleeve. So
I like that one. Why are you looking at me when she said that?
No. I was trying to see if I could equate the cat out of the bag to it.
Right.
I wasn't
but it's
actually
not the same. Yeah, it's not the
accusing
same.
you.
no,
of
it's,
anything.
it's like
right.
it's similar, of course, with like a truth coming out, but it's kind of different. Yeah.
Like
Right.
the truth reveals itself. Like you kind of you see, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I see why we're here.
Now
Yep.
I see what's happening. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Nice. Okay.
I'm gonna do. Can I go?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
You are the co-host of the podcast. Of course. Of course.
I'm gonna do one, and it's gonna be actually in English, but it's gonna be Irish English,
Oh, cool.
and it's that dose is going round.
You're our guest.
How would you say that with an Irish? I don't know how to do an Irish
geez.
accent.
Oh, I've
That dose is going around.
that dose is going
those?
around. Dose is going, I have no idea.
I love how though
can't
you
do an
naturally
Irish.
pull your microphone further from your face to do it.
I'm embarrassed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to do a proper Irish accent.
Well, as that dose is going around, that was terrible.
Yeah.
but that's what it is.
Okay. Any ideas?
Is it like gossip related?
No, but that's a good guess.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking
But
something
it does.
along those lines too.
But one might say it spreads like gossip.
COVID-19?
There you go. Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Interesting.
Not specifically COVID, but
But
it-
an illness or
Yeah.
sickness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That dose is going around.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh.
Amarens, do you have one for
I
us?
do. I pulled a few. I pulled a few Dutch ones that I have in my because like as I've been working on this project, I've been writing down Dutch ones. So I now have like a Google Sheets with about 500 of them in Dutch.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's
so,
amazing.
so
You
I
should-
pulled.
honestly, you could use that too and write like a book.
I
Like
know.
a 500
yeah.
Dutch. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
No,
That's
it's
cool.
I'm hoping that like once the site is up, you know, like when you have a bunch of stuff on the website, that I can then like make little books for different languages and have like
That's smart.
illustrators work on them and like have, you know,
Oh wow. That would be
'Cause
cool.
That's
because
awesome.
a lot of them are so like visual as well, and they sometimes make sense and sometimes they don't, but they're just
it's
so
more fun to see
funny.
them with visuals. I mean, we found Jared found some really good Cantonese ones, right?
Yeah.
and they were these old Cantonese, a lot of Chinese, Cantonese. You know, a lot of the Asian languages. It seems like some of these are so ancient that they have these really cool caricatures. You know, and it really does help you visualize these. It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
cool.
I had like 15 ghost-based untranslatables in Cantonese.
Yeah.
and they had these little ghosts doing the animations of them.
That's
was
so
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one I have is kattenkwaad.
What does that mean?
It means cat evil.
Cat evil. You know, it's so much easier to translate the untranslatable, like from a language like Dutch, when someone like you or I says it, and we ruin the pronunciation.
That's true. That is true.
Because sometimes we can like pick out words, and I was just thinking, I was like, I feel like I could have picked out cat if Chad said it terribly. But
I think a lot of it's the speed because we don't.
That
a lot
too,
of our
yes.
untranslatable aren't
Yeah.
I
languages
can
we
do a
speak.
slow. I can try.
Ooh, yeah,
to
do a
slow
slow mo. Yeah, do a slow mo.
one. Slow-mo
But first,
pronunciation.
let's guess this one. Let's guess this one. So
cat
yeah.
evil.
I have an idea. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think I might be right. We'll see. I think it's just like something that's like super awesome or like really cool.
No.
Oh darn. Okay, came in too hot there.
I think it's
Yeah.
something that's like sneakily, like someone that's sort of like conniving sneakily, like a cat, an
Like a
evil cat.
backstabber?
Cats are scary and
You're
conniving.
closer. You're closer, but it's
Okay.
not quite that.
Someone that like,
Nope. Here we go. There we go.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there's-
Welcome back to the Untranslatable Podcast. We're in the middle of an untranslatable.
yeah,
right
and the
now.
real one. See, I cut this out for everyone's sake, but the real one also does this kind of song thing
Yep.
as well.
It's an old German cuckoo clock. It's pretty cool, but kind of annoying if you're recording a podcast. But yeah, okay. So cat evil. So someone that's conniving, right, or kind
Yeah.
of sneaky. You said. Can you like give us an example?
Someone
or
that like
clue?
a gossip. Someone that like spreads
No, so
bad.
it's not.
like
It's something you do.
cat evil. Oh, something you do.
Yeah.
Um.
It's like an activity, if that makes it like.
Oh, you like? Is it like hitting the town at night? But it's like up to no good, like doing B&Es,
Is
breaking
it-
and enterings, and
Well, yeah,
Is it,
yes.
is, it,
crimes?
is it stealing? Is it stealing something?
No, so it's
No.
it's general mischief. So like
okay.
Up to
I
some
like that,
general
though.
mischief.
Yeah, up to
Yeah.
some cat
I miss
evil.
high school.
Okay.
Some cat evil, some just
cat
general
evil.
mischief
All right.
Yeah.
for no
Yeah,
reason.
I
yeah.
mean, I feel like when we were younger, we would call that some hood rat things.
Oh yeah, that's because
yeah,
there's that
that's-
one video that
Yeah,
came
hood
out.
rat,
Yeah.
cat evil, hood rat. Some mischievous things, some
See,
not so savory things.
Now
yeah.
we're at the age where we see that we're like, come on, what was the point of that?
Right.
Why would you do that?
Right. All right. So I talked about Instagram and some Chinese and other untranslatable. So I am going to give this one to you, both of you today, and this is a good one, and it is Qiangshou, and Qiangshou means gun hand.
Ooh, I like
Gun
that.
hand.
I already like it because
And I like the way it sounds. Qiangshou, gun hand.
gun hand.
gun hand.
This one's going to be a difficult one to guess. I will tell both of you right off the bat. It's not what you would think of, but I will try to lead both of you in the right direction. What is something you do more old-fashioned? You have to remember this is a Chinese untranslatable, right? So what is something you do with your hand that was very important in ancient China?
Oh, so is it? Well, wait. What is something you do with your hand that's very important in ancient China? I don't know.
They had a lot of scrolls. What do you have to do with the scroll?
right.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, so it's like don't hurt my gun hand.
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
a gun hand is a person.
Oh.
It's a person.
Oh, like a hand as in like an aid.
Getting warmer.
Oh.
An aid for what though?
So someone who gives you like your writing gear, which like I don't know.
Okay, you're getting warmer. You're getting warmer.
Kind of like Snoop Dogg employs someone to roll his joints or blunts for him. Is it someone that is like meant to ink pens? Pen inker.
Okay, you're getting further away. You were getting so close, but you're getting further away.
I really thought I added.
But here, if we now, I don't think Snoop Dogg does this, but there are other rap artists who will do this. So they don't always, they'll have a song.
Oh, I know what it is.
Go
Then
ahead.
say it.
A ghostwriter.
A ghostwriter. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Qiangshou means ghostwriter, gun hand. So it's your hired gun to write,
Oh.
I guess whatever you're
Okay.
writing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And they say at least the and this is from an Instagram page called Laowai memes. Laowai is like it's not really derogatory word, but it's not the most polite word for like a foreigner. So it's like foreigner idioms,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of they got some funny ones, and that one I thought was really cool. Ghostwriter.
Yeah, I like that.
That's interesting. I like the word ghostwriter too.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's,
I don't
it's a cool
think
one.
we say
Yeah.
it like that in Dutch, but it's so.
How do you say it in Dutch?
It's a good word.
What do you say in Dutch for like a ghostwriter, for someone who writes something for you? Do you have
I'm
like
gonna
a
have to-
special word?
I'm gonna have to Google that. Wait, just
Okay.
give me 1 second.
They would
now
probably say
I'm
like
curious,
the
too.
ghostwriter or something
Right,
at this
right.
point.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is if it's well known enough, at least in rap music, I feel like it's pretty well known because there are a lot
Yeah.
of famous artists who have ghostwriters.
Yeah, wir müssen ein Ghostwriter. I don't know how to say hire in
Einstellen.
German. I didn't really
wir
think
müssen
about
einen
that first.
Ja, wir müssen einen Ghostwriter einstellen. Yeah, we have to hire a ghostwriter. Yeah.
You know,
Oh my-
like.
Uh-huh.
Probably,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you say ghostwriter in Dutch, or is there just not a?
They're just saying ghostwriter.
They just write their own shit over
Yeah,
there.
it's it's because the Dutch is right there. Exactly, they don't need no ghostwriters in the Netherlands.
I don't need any help.
That's right.
We're an independent people. We don't.
Exactly. So give us another Dutch one. I really, Dutch. The thing I like about Dutch is it has such a different kind of rhythm and articulation than like German or English. I think.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool about it.
Yeah.
I think so too. A lot of people they try to equate it. They're like, oh, it's like a mix of Dutch, of German and English, and I'm like, is it though? Like,
Not really. I mean, I think there are bits and pieces, but I think it's only a mix if you read it. Like I can pick
Yeah.
up parts of Dutch when I read it. But once, like I remember when we were on our flight, KLM, first they did, I think, Dutch, then German, then English. And for me, it was a fun little language
you
test.
get like 4 or 5 words out of there.
Yeah, for Dutch, it was like 4 or 5 words. German, it was like 80% at the time.
Yeah.
And English, it was like probably, hopefully about 100. But, you never know.
Okay. I have let's do komt voor de bakker.
Comes from the bakery, from the baker?
Yeah, it comes
Wow.
for the
Very good,
bakery.
Chad.
It comes for the baker.
Comes for the baker. Okay. So if what comes for the baker, I would think something like flour comes for the baker.
Right.
So it's like that's all I got.
Yeah. I'm not really sure. Where to go?
I'll
It's
give
something
you a
like
hint.
early
I'll give
in
you
the
a hint.
morning.
It's like it's a full sentence. So this is something you say. It's a full sentence. So it's not like this
A
and this
thing.
comes for the baker. No, it's like it's
Right. Okay.
someone says something and then you say is okay, comes for the baker.
It is how it is how it is.
It is what it is.
Or thank you. Yeah, it is what it is.
That's my guess.
Mine's it is how it is. It is what it is.
No.
Okay.
I really
Comes
have
from
no
the baker.
idea on this one.
Because I imagine it has nothing to do with actual bakery related things. That's the thing.
It's no, I actually had to look up what because we say this, but it's not really baker related anymore. But of course, like the origins are baker related. But it's
is it like to work odd hours?
no.
Okay, I got nothing.
We quit.
Okay, I'll give you the answer. So it's something you say when it's like, okay, I'll get it done.
Oh, I like that. Okay,
okay,
it comes.
okay.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it comes from the baker. Like, all right, I'll get it done. Right?
Why does that make sense? Bakers get shit done.
yeah.
We all know that.
You want to get those.
I looked it up because I was curious. I was like, why do we? Because we say it comes for the baker, like it comes
for the
before-
baker.
I don't know. It's kind of strange, but so I
before
looked
the
it up
baker. It
and-
comes before the baker.
Okay.
I see. Okay. I
Is that-
thought you were saying it comes for the baker.
That still wouldn't have helped me get it, probably.
Well, right. No. Not at all. But it changes the meaning a little bit.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay,
like a.
interesting.
It's this. I'm. The thing is, I'm not even sure how it is. If it is before or for or like how it's intended. But I looked it up,
Oh,
and they
that's a
say
good
it's
point.
probably because back in the day, people used to make bread themselves, but they didn't have an oven, so they would go to the baker, and he would finish the bread.
And he would get
So
it done.
it comes
Yeah.
Oh,
to
okay.
the
Yeah,
baker,
yeah.
kind of.
That
We say
makes
for the
sense,
baker,
yeah.
so you give it to the baker, and he gets it done.
Oh man, can you imagine that nowadays? Taking your bread to a baker.
Oh,
to
yeah.
get
Oh,
your
it's so
bread?
much work.
Man,
Like-
that's crazy.
I just got a microwave. Game changer.
Yep, it
Highly
is.
recommend.
It is. I'm an oven guy myself. All right, I have a Dutch one though, and this one is, here we go. Het ziet wel snor.
Oh, that's a good one.
How do you actually say it?
Het ziet
Yep.
wel snor. Het zit wel snor.
Het zit wel snor.
Hatzitvelsto. I don't know what any of those words would mean.
It sits like a mustache, is what I got online. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
You know, it's funny. I'm actually going to say I think one of us have done this before, but I still don't know what it is, just to be clear. So,
Okay.
so I'm still going to be guessing very naturally here.
Well, then it sits like a mustache, Jared.
It just everything fits properly, fits in place right. Sits
Kind
like a
of. If everything sits and everything's right, what's your attitude going to be like?
You got a positive attitude. You're
Yeah, but are you going to be anxious or stressed out?
Yes.
No, you shouldn't be.
Okay.
No, you're going to be calm and relaxed. It means to be calm and relaxed, right?
Oh,
To be
okay.
calm, right?
No, it's more like everything's
No.
okay. Like it's
Everything's
fine.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
or don't worry, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Don't worry.
Yeah, or
Okay.
you can say it sits mustache between two people. Like if two people are okay and they get along well, then it's like sits mustache between them. And
That's interesting
Oh, I
because
like that.
a mustache is not usually really considered like a reassuring piece of facial hair.
Depends what culture you're from, though. I guess.
I guess
It's
it's
I feel
the
like
mustache
mustaches
has got
nowadays
a bad
have
reputation.
bad
here.
reputation for sure. Very, very bad one. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Do you have any more, Jared?
Sure, I'll do one more.
Okay.
I do have some other things I want to talk about. I mean, not a lot, but I'll do one more.
Perfect.
And this one is Spanish, and it's dar calabaza.
you guys say that one again. I have no idea what you're saying.
It's Spanish from Spain.
Oh,
no,
from Spain.
I just guessed. I actually don't know if it's from Spain. I just wanted to
Okay.
do it with the,
The Spanish.
It's dar calabazas, but I did calabazas.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what a calabaza is?
No, I have no idea.
you?
Do you?
It's like a pumpkin
Yes, you're right.
type.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
To give pumpkins.
To give pumpkins. Do you
Die
know?
calabaza.
Do you know this?
I
can't
don't.
take you seriously when you say it like that, Jared.
That's how they say it. Isn't that how they would say it?
In Spain, maybe.
Calabazas.
I think that they would.
Okay.
Not the
All
final
right.
S. Would they? No, not the final S, but
Damn it.
the set one.
Calabazas. That's harder to then
Right.
switch back to the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
All right, I'm
yeah.
done
Do you know?
saying
Do you
I'm
know what
done
it
saying
means?
it.
I've heard it.
Give pumpkins. Okay.
But I don't. I forgot. So no, I don't know what it means.
Okay.
Now I. It's interesting that you've heard it before because I wonder which side you would be on in the situation. So, to give pumpkins is like it's kind of a rude thing to like. It's something you do to someone.
Is it to insult someone?
No. Say you for example, Chad, are very excited because I told you I would meet you in the park for a lovely picnic, but then instead I decided to give you pumpkins.
Oh, to flake on somebody.
Yeah, to stand someone up. on
Oh,
a date.
flake on. Oh, that's very rude.
Yeah.
Very rude and
I
impolite.
wonder why pumpkins are.
Do people not like pumpkins in
Yeah.
Spain?
I mean, I
think,
would.
well, isn't there something to has to do with like Cinderella? Doesn't it like it turns back into a pumpkin at midnight or something? Or
Oh, interesting.
wasn't
Interesting.
the
I mean, yeah, you're right. The stagecoach turns
Yeah.
into a pumpkin
That
at
is
midnight.
I'm
good.
if I
remember correctly.
That's. I
Yeah,
like
maybe.
maybe that's something. Maybe there's
Yeah.
something to
Could
do with
be.
pumpkins there. I
Could
don't
be.
know.
This is why you make the big bucks here, Jared.
Thank you.
All right, I have one
I'm so proud of myself.
I have one in Portuguese. This is a good one, I
Making
think. And
literary
maybe-
references.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I was thinking of the movie, but sure.
right. That's very American of you, Jared. Very, very American of you. Okay, this one is Portuguese, and it is copo sujo or sujo. How do you pronounce the J in Portuguese?
Like
It's Sujo. How would you say that?
sugo.
Okay,
Sugo.
copo sugo.
Sugo. I think.
Oh,
yeah.
like a G?
Never heard that before. What does it mean?
Copo is world, right?
Cup.
Oh, cup, right.
Dirty glass or dirty cup?
Copa America is the American
Copa.
cup. Copa
Copa.
America is the American cup.
Yeah, yeah. But this
Oh,
is
sorry, like a J or sorry, yeah, no.
yeah, Sujo.
Yeah, okay, sujo.
Yeah.
Sujo.
I love the way Brazilian Portuguese sounds. It sounds amazing. And this one is Brazilian Portuguese. I forgot to mention.
So something with the cup.
A dirty
dirty
glass.
cup.
Dirty glass or dirty cup. They say dirty glass, which maybe that will help you guys figure out the name.
Dirty glass. Someone that's
Dirty glass.
like you can't trust them.
Nope, it's a place.
Oh, it's a place.
It's a place.
Place.
Okay, because I don't trust someone. If I don't trust someone, I call them a dirty glass. You can't, you can't even see through the glass.
Well, I'm glad you trust me, Jared. Or at least you don't say that to
Look
my
at
face.
this dirty glass. It's a place. He said.
It is a place.
Is it like a what do you call it, like those like a shitty bar?
You're getting warmer.
Like a
You mean a dive bar?
Yes, that's what I'm
But I
thinking
don't
of.
think this means dive bar. It does mean. I think this means more like a small bar, at least according to, and this is from an Instagram page called Gringo Dictionary.
Yeah,
We've talked
that's,
about it before. Do you know that one?
I know that it's very famous. For it's funny because it's supposed to be for foreigners, but I think mostly Brazilians follow it because they think it's
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
my
fun to
Brazilian friend told me about it. Yeah, I'd never heard about it. So that's
It's
why
a-
I
kind of
found out about
the Brazilian Urban Dictionary.
it. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
On Instagram, at least.
Oh,
it
it's
is.
Instagram.
but
On
they're
Instagram,
only
yeah.
So I think you have like a lot of Instagram account these days. Like I saw one that was for like an Azerbaijani Urban Dictionary.
Oh, cool.
I think.
Interesting.
Like all these Instagram pages, but there's not like always a website to back it up, if that makes sense. So you can't search for something.
Right.
Which is,
that makes a big difference. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Which I think is a good segue into your website.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it a little bit more.
Not everyone takes the next step like you do, Amarens.
Yeah, we have to appreciate the follow-up.
Yeah.
We talked about that the first episode, and I'm really happy we could reconnect. It's been, like 6, 7, 8 months, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Where were you?
I was in China.
Oh, you were in
Jinan.
China. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any, I'm sure you have other projects you're always thinking of that you want to do. Have you considered expanding now I mentioned Twitter. How do you feel about YouTube or podcasting or stuff like that?
I actually, I have been working on a podcast, kind of, on the down low.
Oh, cool. Nice.
On the down low. That's the first step of podcasting is letting other people know about it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, it's the editing that kind of gets me. So I actually recorded like 3 or 4 episodes. And so because I wanted, first of all, like an outlet to kind of talk about the project in more in depth, because I get a lot of questions from people. And I just wanted to have like one episode about how I built it in terms of like the programming language and how that worked. And I actually had someone who kind of like mentored me in my programming. And so I wanted to do an episode with her to talk about like the switch from learning.
Look at that, Chad. Look at that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's fine. But to make the switch from like learning a human language to learning a programming language, I have a couple of cool things that I'm working on. So So
does that translate that sort of idea of learning a language translate whether it's human or computer?
It does. Like that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because to me, those things were always so different. Like learning a computer language was kind of tech, and that was like not my thing because I was good at Spanish, but not at like programming. But then as you do it, you realize that first of all, it's not rocket science. Like it's something you have to learn, but just like a human language. And I realized that in the beginning I was really harsh on myself, because whenever I wouldn't get something, I was like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Whereas in Spanish, or whatever language it is, like I would make mistakes all the time, and then you slowly improve, by doing.
Yeah.
And so
that's interesting, because for most people, even with the normal language, like at least for me, when I learn normal languages too, I sort of have that, I feel so stupid when I make a mistake, especially if you're speaking to like a native speaker.
Oh yeah, pressure's
and
on.
You're kind of trying to keep up a little bit. And so I definitely can relate to that feeling.
But the nice thing about programming was that, so I was making a lot of mistakes, and in the beginning it felt really bad, and also because when there was like an error, because that's it, instead of like speaking to a native speaker, you're speaking to a computer, and the computer needs to understand what you're saying. And if it doesn't, it will throw an error. But that's it. Like in the beginning, that's very like overwhelming, and you're like, oh my God, I broke everything. And then you realize that you just get to try again. So, the first time when you miss like a comma or something, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Like everything I've ever worked for is gone. And then you slowly get better at it. And I think it really helped me get over that fear also in like actual language learning, that fear of making mistakes. Like the moment you make a mistake, you just get to try again, and like that's it, And so that was kind of like refreshing to kind of fail on a daily basis, but you keep going, and that's how you get better.
So you made the website from scratch. You didn't use like a Squarespace or anything.
No.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I wanted to I had the vision for the website, and I would have happily hired someone to do it for me, but I didn't have the money. And even if I did, like if they were like finished with the website, but the website's never finished, right? So if you want a new feature,
you don't want to rely on someone else every time.
Yeah, it's very costly.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I guess I'll have to like learn it myself. And then as I said that, I didn't realize how crazy that was to just say that. You know?
Sure.
To kind of learn for, and I mean, like, I will be the first one. Like, if you go onto my websites, there will be things that don't work, things that are missing. And if you do see something, like, just send me a message on Instagram and I'll try to fix it. But I'm not like a professional programmer. Like, I just learned this 6 months ago.
And it'll get better over time too, the more familiar
Exactly,
you get with
yeah.
it. So that's really cool, though. I mean, I have a lot of respect for that. That is not easy. I've done some very, very basic coding before, and that's not even the same as programming, and still, that itself can be very difficult. So
Most of my coding was in MySpace, and that was kind of difficult, too.
there we go. Yeah, those were the
Right,
days.
like the CSS. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, those were the days. You had
Yeah.
the song in the background and the different scroll bar with the have the stars glistening or something.
You had to
Oh,
go into the background of your description area. And
Yep. Oh man, good times. That's
Yeah.
so weird though that some of those old websites, had those functions and we just kind of did that.
Yeah.
And now that seems so ridiculous. Like, even for me,
Right.
I'm like, I'm not going to copy and paste code.
Right.
And
Well, speaking of Twitter, someone wrote on Twitter. I saw this was a while back, but someone wrote, "Man, it would be cool if you had a Twitter page where you could share songs you like have them play in the background." And someone was like, "Oh my God, people on Twitter are young enough now where they don't know MySpace."
they're like reinventing MySpace.
Yeah, it's
That
really
is-
crazy.
That is so good. Yeah. I love it when
Yeah.
people are reinventing like old stuff. Like,
Yeah.
that's so. I do that when I'm really tired. I'll like reinvent. Like, I'll be on the stairs and I'll be like, oh, it'd be great if this one like just moved out of itself, you know?
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like that would be. That's my thought as I'm like tiredly walking up the stairs. I'm like, oh my God, if this just moved, that would be an invention.
At some point, we will have escalators like in homes. Like, I
You
feel
think
like,
so? You think that would be normal?
I don't know if it'll be normal, but it doesn't seem that far fetched to me for some reason.
Okay. I guess
It's definitely gonna be a flex
that
at some
difficult.
point. Like, I could see
Right.
Kanye having it or something,
Yeah, right. That
And then
would
at some point, you can probably buy like a janky version from Sharper Image or something.
or Walmart.
yeah.
yeah.
your wall escalator, your Walmart escalator, and there you go.
They sell it at 2 a.m. on TV.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just a matter of
crazy though.
time.
Yeah, are there a lot of untranslatable submissions you see on your website that even in a language you speak or your native language where you think, I've never seen that one before, or you see one and you think, I'm not so sure I agree with that definition. Maybe it could be that, but maybe there's also a secondary definition.
Yes, that's a good
All the
question.
time.
Quality
yeah,
control.
all the time. But I guess that's kind of the fun of it, because the ones that I've shared on my Facebook page or my Instagram page from Dutch, for example, I've had Dutch people say, "Oh, nobody uses this," and it's like, "Well, I use this every single day. My family uses
Right.
this, so you don't get to tell me that, right?"
Well, that's not how language works, right?
Oh,
yeah. It's so incredibly diverse and hard to pinpoint. And I think what makes something like Untranslatable or Urban Dictionary so great is the fact that you don't, because if you're writing a real dictionary, right, you have this type of burden of proof. Like, you have to make sure that whatever you say is correct. And so you have to kind of test it and make sure that it's like as short as possible as well. But having a website like this gives you the opportunity to really explain and add more. And even if that is just your interpretation, because that's a thing. This website isn't about, let's say, the absolute truths, because if you want those, you should buy a dictionary, right? Like, if you want
Yeah, sure.
a dictionary definition, buy a dictionary. But what you're getting from this website is native people explaining, and native people can be wrong. Like, that's kind of the fun of it. And so I hope people understand that, right? Like, so there will be mistakes, and don't cite it in your academic paper or anything.
Right.
But use it as a resource when you're investigating and trying to find out what something means.
Yeah, and I mean, like, an untranslatable or like an idiom or something, like, there's no there's no science to it. Like if people say it, then it's real. Like that's kind of all
Right.
it takes. Like we have this one here.
Slipping on gator piss.
I just said that one day in an episode, and but like it could easily be an untranslatable. Like if we just
Yeah.
kept saying it to each other, it's a thing.
I actually have a funny story about that. I think I've told you this story before, but I think you'll get a kick out of this,
Okay.
Amarens. So we did that episode while I was living in the Czech Republic, and I was working as an English teacher there. And a couple of my students, I didn't tell them about the podcast, but somehow they found out about it because we don't always talk about school appropriate topics. You know, we
Yeah.
have the explicit little E there for a reason. You know,
I tag
Yeah.
you sometimes,
You
and
know,
stuff, so they
you
probably
know,
looked on
yeah.
your tagged section.
Oh, that's true on Instagram. That is exactly how they found it because a
Yeah.
lot of them added me, and it didn't bother me. On my personal Instagram, I don't have anything that would be bad for like.
We
a
don't say
student
anything
to
that
see.
bad, just to be
not
clear.
that bad. That's
No.
true. But they're and anyways, so they found it, and then I had a student of mine approach me one day, and he said, "Hey, I heard an idiom on your podcast, and I want to know what it means. Like I heard it
Yeah.
as a drop, and I want to know what it means." And I'm like.
Slipping on gator piss.
What did you hear? Sorry, we didn't do that, right?
We
What
didn't
did
really
you
time
hear?
that
Yeah,
very
we didn't do that very well. But yeah, so the idiom was slipping on gator piss, and he goes, so what does that mean? And I started laughing, and he had this look on his face. He was so confused, and I said, okay, I need to explain this to you. So we did an episode about like Southern American English, like in the U.S. America,
Yeah, like American
Yeah.
idiom specifically.
right. And Jared was doing a quiz with me. He made up a couple ones, and he had some real ones, right? Because he has relatives in Louisiana. So it was super fun to hear some of the and decide which ones were real and which ones were made up. And he made up slipping on gator piss.
Slipping on gator piss.
And so we use it as like you're
Like you're
messing
stepping
up.
over the line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out. Yeah.
Yeah, watch out, be
Interesting.
careful. Like you're
Yeah.
slipping on gator piss. Like
Yeah.
you're like, ooh, maybe. Here we go. Here's our scientific explanation for you. If there's gator piss somewhere, that means a gator's around. If you slip in it, that gator's going to come find you and eat you.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yep.
what we're, yeah.
There we go. So,
Yeah.
but anyways, he asked me what the idiom means, and I told him it's not real.
Yeah.
But it is. It is.
It is now. It is
It
now.
is now,
yes.
yeah.
So,
No,
You
yeah.
should start using it with your friends, just casually, and just act like it's
I
totally
will,
normal.
yeah.
Like you haven't heard that before?
yeah.
You can
It's
add
all
it
the
to the
rage now,
website. You should add it to the website,
Oh,
and then
that
it's
would be
official.
funny.
Okay,
That's
there we
true.
go. Yeah,
That
that's how
is
we make
true.
it official.
That is true.
I
We've
Actually-
actually thought of a lot that I just haven't saved. Oh,
Yeah.
now we need to go back and find them.
I love it on a lot of TV shows. They sometimes make up idioms and stuff, but I love them so much that I want to add them to the website. But then like also mention that they're from a TV show. But for example, on Modern Family.
Ooh,
So
I'll
the-
bet there's some good ones from there.
Yeah, they have such good ones. And they had one that was Cameron saying, I don't know, he was wearing this outfit and he was going to wear it outside, but it was kind of ridiculous. And they were like, "Oh, are you really going to wear that outfit outside? Like, it's kind of flashy." And then he's like, "Well, as they say where I'm from," and he's supposedly from Missouri, but of course, like make stuff up. It was like, you don't
Right.
teach your dog to play the banjo and then skip the talent show.
That's funny. You don't teach your dog to play the banjo and skip the talent show.
Right.
I like that one. That's a good one. There are
Right?
some really funny ones too that Sofia Vergara's character says.
Yes.
And a lot of them are like she mixes up something in English.
Yeah.
But technically it's still like an English word, but she maybe switches it. I don't have any in mind right now.
But I know what you mean. She'll like just
Yeah.
say the wrong word and
right.
Yeah.
Right.
I love-
It's always yeah.
I love all of the they do so many puns or so many things that can be understood in two ways, and it's so good. Like it always just gets me how they like when I remember there's one when Sofia Vergara comes in and then Phil is like, "Oh, I love your dress," and she's like, "Thank you, Phil." And then he's like, "Oh, okay,"
That's
and he
right, and
starts
he's like-
touching her, and
Yeah.
then like Julie Bowen is like,
Oh,
"No,
I
no," she said Phil, not feel,
Yep.
and
Yep.
like that's such a good one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Phil and what is her character's name? I always forget. her name.
Gloria.
Gloria.
Thank you. They always have this kind of awkward
Yes.
kind of tension.
Yeah.
And Claire's always just kind of looking like,
Yeah.
come on, Phil, really? Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing is there are a ton of different like Eat My Shorts from The Simpsons. I know it's an old reference, but like I'm sure people like if you
Well, they said it before that though, because remember in the movie where they're all in detention, not Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but We're all in detention in the 80s. And
Breakfast
there's the
Club?
Yes, thank you.
Breakfast Club?
Remember
Okay.
the whatever the guy's name was, John. He's Bender. He said, "Eat my shorts."
Oh, okay.
To the principal guy.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
That one's been around for a while.
So that's an old one too.
Yeah.
It's interesting though too.
but where did it come from? I have no idea.
Right. The cool
Yeah.
thing about your website though too is it can document these idioms, these phrases, these untranslatables real time, and then in 5, 10, 20 years from now we can see kind of what was popular at the time, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool because language changes a lot. And
Yeah.
and like just people saying like I feel like lit is now even becoming outdated.
Lit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like people say lit now more as just to be ironic than
Yeah,
to like
it's
mean
already old.
Yeah, it's already old. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was
That
watching this British TV show the other day, like one of those, trashy makeovers things.
Okay,
And, love that. Like, it's just, it's so, it's just so trashy that it's good. I don't know. I just love
like
it.
reality TV in the States, it's very popular.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to be British. Like, I don't like American reality TV. It has to be British because there's a kind of strange humbleness. Like, they're so self-deprecating as well that it kind of
Okay.
works.
Do they take themselves too seriously here in
Yeah.
the US? I could imagine that. Sorry, don't
Oh,
mind
probably.
me. I'm
Yeah, no, don't
doing
worry.
something.
Yeah, just
But
some
yeah,
tech
no,
stuff.
I just so when I
continue.
watch American, they feel like they're just a part of something really big, whereas in the British ones, they kind of see it for what it is, which is just like I'm on TV, but it's kind of dumb or something.
Right.
But
And I think it's a different sense of humor as well, right? I mean,
Yeah.
British humor, I feel like, is very different than U.S. humor.
it is, yeah. So it just,
Yeah.
but they were really. So I think the show was from 2016 or something, and they were really trying to push. They were saying "on fleek" a lot.
Oh,
British were?
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and so
that
they were
sounds-
really
that's
trying to be like,
hilarious.
look at us.
Flizzy.
On fleek. Johnny, your trousers look very on fleek today.
No, that's
Alright,
it. They were
so-
like trying to be trendy and stuff. And then I was
That's
watching it
funny.
now and I was like, wow, that's already so outdated. Like that was so
Yeah.
2016.
Right.
On fleek doesn't even. I feel like people don't even like. What does that even mean at this point
Right.
anymore?
It was
Oi, mate.
eyebrows.
That party was lit.
Lit actually makes a little bit more sense for a British
It
person
does.
to say than on fleek.
Yeah, on fleek is kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like
but yeah,
on
it's-
fleek
it's so
was
funny.
like specifically mostly used for eyebrows as well. Like anything
I think
could
it was
be on
like a
fleek.
style thing. Yeah,
But it was
a
like-
style thing. Yeah.
Your eyebrows are on fleek is when
Yep.
it's also when
Yep.
people had that specific style of like having these like detailed eyebrows that were kind of like
Right. I think your nails can also be on fleek, right? Like I
Nails,
remember like
yeah.
seeing girls like say that on social media, on fleek. Yeah, I think it's like a style thing. Like
Yeah.
I think you can also probably say your hair's on fleek, all that jazz.
Yeah.
James Charles' eyes are on fleek. He's a makeup.
Oh,
YouTuber.
I had no idea who that was.
I think
was so
I'm actually not
confused
sure.
right now.
I was trying to.
so
Oh yeah, I typed in eyes on fleek into Google,
That's funny. Oh, that is.
and there
funny.
are some.
There's
they're
some
on
good.
Fleek.
Yep. They
I
got
think
the
it's
little,
like- I think it's like makeup stuff. I think it's
Yeah.
something that you
beauty
yeah,
and
like-
makeup makes sense. Yeah.
How to
Style-wise-
eyebrows on fleek.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, when they had the little thingy, right? The girls were all doing the like.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Okay.
Which makes
That's
it
right.
it's so funny because then that phrase becomes automatically attached to not just what it means, right? Because like there will be a new way to say that something's on fleek.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like now I mean lit's already outdated, but you would say
that slaps.
Oh, slaps. I love that one. For music that's really good, that slaps.
Oh, yeah, that slaps.
I do like that one.
Really?
Oh, have you never heard that one?
no.
Yeah, yeah. That
But
one's
they
a
say
newer
it in
one.
French, I think. I saw it on
Do
my
they?
website.
Okay.
Is that
They say it
slap?
in French too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
we
okay.
stole it.
Uh-huh.
It's
Interesting.
funny
That's
how it
how
works.
Das slapped. Put it in German. How would you say that in Dutch? That slaps. If you had to try to... Ooh, or Frisian.
ooh, that would be a tricky one. In Dutch,
They probably just say cool.
dat slaat.
Oh, I like that. That sounds kind of cool. All right.
Yeah.
Dot slap.
But we actually have an idiom that is that if something but something slaps on something, that means that it makes sense. And if something doesn't slap on something, or
It doesn't make
it
sense.
doesn't slap on anything, dat slaat nergens op, then we say it doesn't make any sense. Like what?
So it's kind of like click for us. That clicks, or it's not clicking.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe.
no,
Maybe?
it's.
I think it's different.
mean,
yeah, I think it's different.
a little bit, but it's not
Is
even
it
an
more
idiom.
Is it more like that hits the nail on the head?
No, it's just
No,
like
okay.
if you if someone writes complete like nonsense, you're like, what is this slapping on? Like, what the hell is this?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
Or
sense.
you say that slaps
sense.
on nothing. Like this doesn't make any sense. Like this is complete bullshit, kind of.
And can you say that if you like call somebody out? Like if they're saying something ridiculous, can you
Yeah.
be like, "That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that." Like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
cool.
you can say where the fuck does that slap on?
Oh, that is great.
Ooh, I love that. Where the fuck does that slap on, Jerry? Where the fuck does that? That is amazing. Where the fuck does that slap on? That is hilarious.
Yeah, I
Well,
like
we,
that.
we got our couple swears in today for our E-approved rating.
We gotta earn it.
Thank you, Amarens.
Yeah, you
That's
gotta
right.
earn
We gotta
it,
earn
yeah.
it.
That's right. That is right. Yeah, that's funny though. That's cool though. Yeah, we've just really enjoyed seeing your progress. You know, with all the social media pages, foreign
you.
language. I still am a huge. I've been looking at that on Facebook when I occasionally scroll through, and on Instagram, Foreign Language Collective, untranslatable.co. Are there any other projects you want to keep the podcast on the down low? So we'll keep that on the down low for now.
I'll
secret
announce it on
podcast.
there, but I'm not
Right.
sure about the name yet. So I'm kind of, and I
Okay.
need to find time to edit the
That's
audio.
fair.
But yeah.
What can you give us a little teaser though? What so you did mention it's about kind of the creation of the website and
No,
and
it's
how that
so
worked,
the
or-
broader thing is that I just want to have interesting conversations with interesting people about language and like certain topics. So I had
Okay.
I had an interview with a guy who does his who's doing his PhD in translation. And
cool.
he, so you can actually look him up if you are a Harry Potter fan, because he focuses on the transcreation of Harry Potter. So how Harry Potter was translated to other languages, because a lot
that's
of the words,
fascinating.
yeah, it's super fascinating. And then he breaks down like the etymology of the words that the people in different
Cool.
countries have chosen, like the translators,
Interesting.
which was
That'd
really,
be
really
hard
cool.
to do.
My sister would like that. She's read Harry Potter in English and French like multiple times, all of them. So
Right.
I'm sure it'd be interesting to know like
Yeah.
how they choose. Yeah, that's
fascinating.
especially when words are just made up.
Yeah.
I mean, all words are.
Well, I mean,
it's all
no,
just-
but I mean, in Harry Potter, like they're
Right.
making up spell words and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
and
But
it's like, well,
they-
this is
So the thing about the English version or just words in general is that they're made up, but they do trigger, like they do look like other words. So you get this kind of, okay, this sounds like this word or this sounds like that word. So you kind of want, like, I don't know, Slytherin
it's
or
not
something
completely random.
has
Right,
this.
yeah, and how do you do that in another language to get that similar kind
Effect.
of thing? That's really
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really difficult.
So it's really, and
Yeah.
in some occasions they've even done like a better job by like creating new words. And
Sure.
I think
If you have a really good translator, that makes sense.
yeah, in French they translated the sorting hat to chapeau, which is like from
that's great.
choisir, I think, like to choose, and then
But it's like a
chapeau,
Yeah, as one word.
which is hat.
Oh,
so they
that's
made it one
smart.
word.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, I mean, that's the beauty.
Portmanteau
That's
is what
the
they call
beauty
that.
of language. I remember talking to a German buddy of mine about how some TV shows he would watch in English and some in German, because he said Futurama. Whoever was the translator on Futurama did an amazing job, because he would put in a lot of really clever, like, there's an episode where I think they like go into someone's body or something, and then part of the intestines, I think in German it's Darm, and so they called it Darmstadt. which is actually it's a play on
Right.
words because Darmstadt is a real city in Germany, but it also means a city in the intestines.
Yeah.
So it's this really funny, clever play on words that would never
That's
work
really
in English.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Intestine City.
Intestine City doesn't work because it's not
Doesn't
the
have
name of a
same
real
ring
city.
to it.
Yeah.
Right. Unless we should go. I wonder if there's probably not a city name.
Intestines, Texas.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Probably.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why it has to be Texas.
It probably would be Texas.
would
though.
have to
Let's
be
honest.
Texas,
It would
yeah.
be Texas. It totally would be. Yeah. That's super awesome though. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have
well,
a-
we would.
So it's kind of about like language in general. So I talk about so some people like that who have like a specific linguistic research topic, but also just kind of language and identity in general, like, you know, language learning and what effect
cool.
that has on you and your personality and all that stuff. So yeah.
I might have a couple of contacts to send you after this that might
Awesome.
be
Please
if
do,
you're
yeah.
looking for guests. I have some friends in a couple different universities that do some really interesting stuff.
Feel free
Yeah,
to,
that's-
send
I
them
mean,
our way,
as
too.
a-
That's true. Yeah, that's true too. We could have them on here. I guess I look at our podcast as us goofing around.
You
and
think they would
joking around.
they would respect us?
Not respect, but
Or
it's
they would
like-
lose respect for you?
Maybe. I mean, I worry about my people from my academic part of my life are very different than the people from my personal part
I feel
of my
like
life,
what
you
he's
know?
getting at is you don't trust me around your
Maybe
your
a little
fancy
bit. Maybe.
colleagues.
They-
I don't know what Jared's going to say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost internet connection. Let me call you back. Yeah. Oh man.
That's
Yeah.
actually fair. I kind of get that.
But yeah. Yeah, that's cool though. So untranslatable.co can be found on Instagram, obviously online at untranslatable.co. Also check out Foreign Language Collective as well. Anything else we left out that you'd like to add?
No, I think for the moment those are the things, you know, like so if I can make a request, like if people are from different countries are listening, doesn't matter what country you're from, but if you have some cool untranslatable words or slang or like references like we talked about from TV shows, like people think that shouldn't be on there because it's like, oh, it's a reference to something. Like no, that's
should be on there,
exactly
yeah.
why it should be on there. The other day I made a post. So I do daily challenges now where I give like a theme every day and give people
cool.
an idea of. So I started with like what's up? With hi, and that's.
Did you
like
do
the
one
word
with
for
cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I saw that.
one. Yeah.
I thought of like dope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
dope.
that's a good
That's
one.
a popular one.
Fly. It's a bit older.
Yeah.
But you know, your car looks fly. Your car
Sweet.
looks cool. Sweet.
Sweet. It's so
You want to
interesting.
go really old? Rad.
Rad, yeah.
Rad.
That's rad, bro. Rad, bro. Yeah. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite that a buddy of mine. There are two I've heard in. I think in Chilean Spanish, it's I think bacán. And that means beef, doesn't it? Or like a.
Oh, does it?
I think literally it means like beef or I thought that's what he told me. Maybe he was just messing with me, but I thought that's what he said.
You
I
said
know the
something real
word,
terrible.
but I didn't know it. I just know it as meaning cool. Like in
Right.
Colombia they
Oh.
say bacano, and then in Chile they say bacán. For some reason they,
yeah.
they
okay.
Yeah.
got the
Chilean
rid
Spanish
of the
has
O.
some crazy words. Some crazy words.
They really do. Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy was telling me, now this was a long time ago, but when he was in high school, they would also say filete for cool, which means a fillet. So maybe that's what I'm confusing with.
Maybe yeah. But okay,
but-
so if you make a submission on the website, one of the things that you can do is add a synonym. And so if you,
Oh,
for
that's
example,
clever.
add like dope or fly or rad, you can add cool as a synonym. Because it doesn't have to be the exact same, but it's kind of, how you would use it. And so that gives you the opportunity to then browse the website and say, I want everything that is a synonym of cool. And you can
That's a
then
good
also
idea.
specify, and you can say, I want to know how to say cool in French, or I want to know how to say cool in Chilean Spanish. And then you can see all of the different submissions that relate to cool or what's up or hi or something like that.
Right. That's really smart.
Yeah.
One thing too, I mean, you're already kind of doing this, especially if you have people give examples. But another thing that might be smart, and this is, I guess, just the language teacher in me, would be also offer maybe some collocations. If you had a tab for collocations, where like you don't always say like certain things, you might say that's dope, right? But like a lot of times, like there might be certain words that like you would say like.
What is collocation?
A collocation is just a word that occurs at a high frequency with another word. So looking at, looking forward to. So
Yeah.
looking in English has many different,
Dope shit.
Right. You could say dope shit, but you probably wouldn't say, that's, I'm trying to think what something that's too formal. You wouldn't say
Yeah.
that's a dope.
Dope sandwich.
Well, you could say that, I guess, kind of.
who
It'd be a
says
little
that?
weird, but you could,
No,
I guess.
that's a good. That's interesting.
I'm not sure how you could build it in, but just some food for thought, because
That is-
I think you already get that with examples, but some languages you could also do it in a way where like English with look, you could even do or even a challenge of the day with look and have different, like looking good, looking sharp. These are all different. I don't know, just kind of a crazy idea. But I was thinking when I was in grad school, I remember them, explicitly kind of trying to pound it into our brains that when you learn new vocabulary in any language, it's really helpful, especially in languages where you have one word that has different functions, to learn the collocations. But
That's a good
collocations.
one. I think
Yeah.
I might. So, like my next, there's a lot of next steps I want to take. But in September, I'll be starting my master's in linguistics, and
Oh, cool.
I'm really hoping to kind of also learn more about natural language processing. So, really, kind of computers and language together, and how
Very
you can
cool.
use computer tools. And so, like maybe that would be interesting to have a function that can kind of browse the interwebs and then say the word dope is often used in combination with it. So like it would do it
Exactly.
for you.
Yep. Yep.
Because I think
Well,
a lot
there's-
of times people aren't aware either. So it could give you like a top 3 of words that it is used with or something, and then have like frequency or something. But that's just
Right. That's exactly what I was kind of trying to think of how you would do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
You would do it just in that way. Check out a website. If you Google COCA, it's I think the Corpus of Common American English or something. If you just Coca Corpus, if you Google Coca Corpus, they have tabs where you can pull up collocations. So I have no
Oh, that's
idea, the
awesome.
back end of the website at all, but it's really great because you can type in things like looking, watch, see. In
Yeah.
English, look, watch, and see all mean essentially the same thing. But my students all the time say, "Yeah, I was seeing TV yesterday." It's like, no, you weren't seeing it; you were watching it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, or I was watching this shirt at the store I wanted to buy. It's like, no, you were looking at the shirt at the store.
Right.
So that website is really useful, and that might be able to give you some inspiration or some ideas of at least how it could kind of look and how you could program it. But yeah, I love Coca. I think it's a useful teaching tool.
I tried
So-
to look up dope because I was interested now.
Did
but
it come up?
But the first thing that comes up, this dope is dangerous.
Yeah, probably.
Well, I mean, it
Anti-drug
originally meant
campaigns.
like
Yep.
heroin.
So
Yeah.
you get like
Drugs, exactly.
they're or just
doesn't
running
surprise
dope.
me.
They
Yeah.
say okay, smoking dope.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
Yeah, it's all drugs.
Yeah, which doesn't surprise
All
me.
drug
But see,
But
related.
no
Coca-
one calls. No one's like if you hear smoking dope now, then that's like your mom. Or
Yeah, your mom or your dad saying
Yeah.
that. Right. But that's the weird thing about language too is like depending on your age, the language that you use can be kind of perceived weird, right? Because like,
Yeah.
if my dad said, "Yeah, that I watched a dope movie last night," I would be like, "What? You
Yeah.
watched a what kind of movie?"
But if he said those kids are smoking dope, you'd be like, yeah, that sounds like something my old
Right.
dad would say.
Exactly.
No offense, by the way.
Right.
I don't know if you could hear me.
yeah. That's exactly why I added the feature on the website of like who uses it, even though it's like it's really hard to establish, right? So it's not
Yeah.
something I'm gonna check. So I tried to keep it broad with like young people, but it could be something specific like lawyers or like it can be like a business related term. But those things are so important because if you're a language learner and you come across this new term, you're like, oh, I'm going to use this. This is a cool idiom, for example. But a lot of times, especially with idioms, they're very kind of old and outdated, and it's kind of old people who would use them. So if you're going to use it as a young person, everyone's going to look at you like, where
Yeah.
did you learn that? You know, I get that all the time in Spanish. People
Right.
saying, "Where did you learn that?" And I'm like, "Oh, I just saw it on TV or whatever." But you don't understand the context of what
Sure.
What
that
you're actually
means.
saying, yeah.
Which is why I think it's good. You're really trying to push people to post, if they have references to like pop culture, especially like movies or music, like a lot of people didn't know what WAP, I didn't know what WAP meant a week ago. I don't know when the song dropped, but, a lot of people don't know, but once again, this is kind of an age thing, right? Like I feel like if you heard an old person, make a reference from that, it would be a little awkward, it'd be a little weird.
So saying like this is from the show Friends kind of adds some like, okay, they probably
Some
don't say that
context,
really
right.
now, but they probably said in the 90s or 2000s or whatever.
Well, cool. Well, it's been great having you on today.
Yeah.
Unless you have anything else you'd like to add about your website, we really thank you a lot. The Dutch untranslatables were fantastic. Thanks again for the help with the pronunciation. I'll have to do some more research on YouTube to improve my Dutch pronunciation, but yeah, so we really appreciate it, having you on today. So please, everybody out there listening, check out untranslatable.co and also the Foreign Language Collective on Facebook and Instagram. And yeah, we really appreciate it. Amarens, best of luck when you start your master's program. And at some
Thank
point
you.
when that podcast does drop, I'm definitely going to be tuning in. I'm sure Jared and I will discuss it on the podcast, so we're looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Keep doing what you're doing, and
Thank you.
we hope you have a great day.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me again. It was a great time once again, and it was really thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure.
Awesome. All right. Well, to all of our listeners out there, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shusha, and do svidania.
I didn't think you were going to do it.
Yeah, sure. Close out the episode. Why not? Close it out.
Oh, actually, I forgot to mention, but if people do create a submission this month and probably the coming months as well, but you can win something. So I have like a t-shirt and the untranslatable.
See, I told you.
Why would you stop recording it?
Oh, shoot.
We're still recording the audio, though. You
That's
keep
true.
going.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
Keep talking. Yeah.
So
Yeah, keep talking. My bad.
sorry, I just get
Bad habits,
there's so
I guess.
many things that I should say that I forget everything. But yeah, so kind of to incentivize people, and there's things you can win, which is just on a random basis. I'll be picking a winner, and there's also things that you automatically get if you make X amount of submissions. So if you sign up and you make a submission, and you confirm posts, because there is also a feature where you can say, oh, I've heard of this or I've not heard of this. So this is a way for the platform to kind of see how accurate something is, or, like how many people actually use it or would confirm this use. So if you have X amount of submissions and X amount of confirmations, then you automatically get rewards as well. So these are kind of language learning tools and the untranslatable calendar and stuff like that.
Great, cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, they did get it. I'll stick it at the end of the podcast, even though Chad, for some reason, stopped recording.
my bad. Yeah, we can drop our logos up there or something. But yeah, that's my bad.
Well,
I guess habits.
That's
bad
okay,
habits
Chad.
die
That's
hard.
okay.
But yeah,
I'm just giving you a hard time.
that is what we do here. That's like half of the podcast. But yeah, well, cool. Well, we won't take up much more of your time then. But